shift our gears now a little bit away from education, but we're still talking big bucks here. And this big bucks case is involving the energy regulator, Nersa and Eskom, who are facing off in court today. Why? The regulator wants to deduct, wait for this, 69 billion rand from the bailout the state has given the power utility. Now, if Eskom wins its application against Nersa, it could lead to a massive increase in electricity tariffs. ENC's senior business reporter, Dimakaso Lishoro, is outside at the North Gauteng High Court with more tracking that story for us. Dimakaso, a very good morning to you. It's a sort of unprecedented. I mean, you've got an operator in the energy sector taking the regulator to court over money.
Two government entities, Braden, fighting it out in court here. A lot of that number crunching continuing. The dispute is over that 69 billion rand that you just mentioned, that Treasury, if you recall, in last year's budget granted Eskom over the next 3 years. Eskom has said that they're going to use the money for operational costs. So Nersa comes and say, but you are not going to use this money for, paying off your debt. That means that in terms of operational costs, you won't need that much. So instead of us giving you 16% increase this year, next year, we'll reduce that to 8.1 increase, and next year 5.2 increase. So and pass on the benefit to the consumer. That is the crux of the matter in terms of Eskom is seeing Nersa as being irrational, and Nersa in turn is saying that Eskom has been very inefficient, and they're covering up their maladministration through these increases, wanting to benefit through these increases. As you would recall, not so long ago, but then we read about this 1.8 billion rand in bonuses that Eskom wants to provide to their staff over the next 3 years. And Nersa is saying, but you cannot do that. You can't get money from government to help you to shore up your balance sheet, and you use that money. You don't reduce the debt. You know that that is over 400 billion rand, actually edging closer to half a trillion rand, which is weighing heavily on the South Africa's economy. But then, if Nersa loses the case today, obviously this means that consumers who are already hard pressed financially will be paying more and carrying more of that Eskom burden. If Eskom loses, as you said, it will be a pace, the first of its kind, where they would have managed indeed to fight for the consumer, if you will. They're saying that you cannot cover your inefficiencies, your lack of planning. We've seen electricity, or rather the load shedding happening when there wasn't a lot of demand over the festive season. They're saying that you've spent a lot of money overly on maintenance, and we don't have any benefit for that as consumers.
Now, this case today, is it the start, Dimakaso? Just remind our viewers, is this the beginning of the case, or are we now moving towards kind of a ruling? We should expect a court ruling or not?
What we understand is that this is the start of the case. We don't know if when it will finish or how the proceedings will go today. But then just to mention that there is another case that will follow this, where Eskom is also seeking to recoup some of the expenses from Nersa, where it accuses Nersa of also giving them inadequate increases. So we're going to see a lot more of these confrontations, if you will, in the courts between Nersa and Eskom. As per today, we're not sure exactly what to expect. We understand that this could be the first day of the hearing. We know that affidavits have been handed in. Everything is there, ready to go. So we'll see what happens at 10 o'clock when the court starts.